And he is on film. Do you want, are you not using, right? So we can talk about? I'm gonna light you up, dude.
Busted you as you go.
Good to go when you be good.
Okay. In the small town of Oak Park, there's a group of boys in the local 7-Eleven about to make their way to a friend's house. In this town, there is a curfew that states teenagers who are under the age of 18 are not allowed to be out past 11 p.m. on any given day. They were out an hour and 15 minutes past the curfew. They were not causing any trouble. Regardless, a police officer came in and punished them anyways. This is a perfect example of why teenage curfews are wrong. How many of you in here earned your driver's license either last year or this year? So basically all of you. Well, everyone that raised their hand has been affected by a curfew. In March of 2011, a curfew was issued in Michigan for all teen drivers who were 16 that stated they could not be out past 10 p.m. any day of the week. This particular curfew applies to driving, but the ones I'm talking about today are not limited to that. I researched various law journals that oppose these laws, and I also read other articles that do not agree with curfews. So teenage curfews need to go away altogether, or at least become less strict. Curfews are unconstitutional, and they do not prevent crime like authorities would like. One reason teenage curfews should not be in effect is because of their unconstitutionality. According to teenage curfew laws, beneficial or detrimental, curfews violate certain rights given to all people, including teenagers. One thing that is violated is the First Amendment. Rights that are in that amendment are things such as freedom of speech, movement, and assembly. Well, the right to assembly was violated in the story that I told you at the beginning. They were causing absolutely no trouble, and they were in a group, but they got in trouble anyways. This is not right. Not only are they unconstitutional, but they don't meet their intended purpose, which is to prevent crime. In a study done for the Campbell Collaboration Crime and Justice Group, the results came out mixed. Because of this, researchers could not determine whether or not curfews really did prevent crime. And it was calculated that about 75% of the time, curfews did not change the crime rate. And an article from the American Academy of Political and Social Science stated that delinquent teens will not change their behavior to accommodate a curfew. They'll either divert their behavior to another area that doesn't have a curfew, or change the time that they are going to commit that behavior.
So would you say subconsciously you're saying that teenagers tend to not follow directions? They do what they want? Seriously?
Wait.
Oh, wow, that's shocking.
As
Just
you can
checking.
tell, these laws don't prevent crime like they're supposed to. So imagine life without them. Life would be easier for all of us. Hanging out with friends and going out to late night movies would not be a problem. And even if the curfews did exist, a less strict version would be good. So making it go into effect at 1 a.m. would be enough. So it would not, yeah. It's not as bad as 10 p.m. So teen curfews do more harm than good. They're unconstitutional, and they don't prevent crime. Evidence proves this, and without these laws, or at least less strict versions of them, our lives would be easier. So you've all been affected by a curfew, and I think it's safe to say that you probably don't like that. And you may be wondering how you can help with something like this. Well, you could get a group of people together that really are against these laws and write a letter to the legislators or start a petition. It really could change their minds. Explain to them why they're unconstitutional and why they don't prevent crime like they think that they're supposed to. And so you may have been wondering what kind of punishment those teenagers received from that story in the beginning. Well, they got sentenced to 24 hours of community service, and they had to write an essay explaining the lesson that they learned. That punishment is childish. They were not causing any trouble, and it just goes to show that teenage curfews are not right and should be eliminated.